in the form of knowledge or in the form of a portfolio, something that you can showcase to the designers during an interview, your chances of landing a job is really high.
Hi guys, welcome to VI's Tech Talk. My name is Arman. Today I am joined by none other than Zack, one of our UX design instructors, and Flame, one of our digital marketing instructors. So today we're going to be talking about profitable skills. But what exactly are profitable skills? Is it something that you profit in a monetary sense? Is it a good work-life balance? Or is it a combination of both? But before we get into that, let's do a quick introduction about the background of our instructors. Maybe Zack, you want to go first?
Sure. So I'm Zack, and I'm basically currently I'm a UX design manager at Rakuten Viki. I've got some previous design background with fintech companies like UOB. I also took a bit of my time in e-commerce, like Shopback as well. And currently I'm also the co-founder of a local food marketplace tech startup, BlockChef. Yeah.
Nice. Okay, Flame, what about yourself?
Yeah, so I'm Flame. Currently, I'm looking after the digital marketing at MyRepublic. Prior to that, I guess I was in agency for a very long time.
Right.
Looking after projects around the region, Asia Pacific.
Right.
And of course, I've been one of the instructors at Vertical Institute for a year.
Some time, yeah. Nice. Oh wow, that's some time. Okay, cool. Yeah. So that's basically the background of our instructors. So we're just gonna go right into it. So guys, I just want to ask the question and put it out there. What do you think makes a skill profitable in today's job market? Maybe Zack, you want to go first? Tell us your thoughts about this.
Okay. So I think, pretty much, I think I can speak for UX. Yeah. I think for UX, it's important to be able to have extensive experience. That's definitely one. But also to be able to be an expert in the area they are in. So for UX itself to be profitable, I think it's also depending on the market demand. So if you're able to not just do UX, but able to do more than what the scope of a basic designer is going to be doing. So I think that encompasses even things like research work, even like other areas where involve graphical stuff.
Yeah.
And it goes beyond that as well, like incorporating new technologies like AI. That in all does make you really profitable in some sense, right? Because you've got valuable skills that companies are looking for.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. Flame, what do you think? Like in terms of the word profitability, I mean, how important is it to be able to contribute in a digital marketing sense?
I think for digital marketing as a skill in general, it's often pretty much in high demand, especially as a lot of things are shifting more and more towards coming from online as opposed to offline. So I mean, for us digital marketers, that we have the ability to directly impact a company's revenue. So of course that helps.
Yeah.
I guess having specific knowledge about different industries, of course, also helps. And then, digital marketing is changing all the time. So staying on top of the trends, as you mentioned, making sure we know, all new social media trends.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So, I mean, that being said, so what do you guys think is, the most important thing? Because obviously when people are looking for jobs, when they want to find employment, we always want to strike a balance between, how do we prioritize our career goals and also our overall interests. So what do you think matters more if somebody wants to go into your field?
Between like prioritizing our own life for our own work?
Yeah, like if let's just say somebody wants to go into like digital marketing and they want to, they're considering things like their career goals, but also their interests. Do you think in digital marketing, these two things can come in hand in hand?
I mean, definitely. I think there's probably like two specific sides to digital marketing. There's like the creative side and then the more analytical side.
Yeah.
And anyone that's into digital marketing will definitely be particularly passionate about one of those things.
Right.
So just that by itself is enough to make you
feel
happy
fulfilled.
and fulfilled in your job.
Yeah.
And I think like specifically with digital marketing, it's something that can be done. You do it online.
Yeah.
So you do have the ability to to work remotely if you wanted, to work hybrid. There's a lot of different ways that you can use your skills.
Nice. Yeah. What about the potential of balancing that in the world of UX?
Definitely, I think for most UX designers, they would already be very passionate about the field of design. Being able to solve problems, it's definitely one of the things that comes very naturally to them. In terms of their career goals, I think it's definitely something to think about because, like when they transit into UX, there are many different pathways they can even go because they basically you're working in a product setup. I've seen product designers eventually move on to become product managers and even the other way around, right? So there are many pathways to go as well. And even within UX itself, there are also many different paths to go. And then basically, your interest can lead you to different career goals along the way.
Nice. Okay. So in terms of that, then, when we're talking about specific skill sets, what skill sets do you think, are most particularly important to have? Not just maybe in terms of breaking into UX, but if you want to break into the tech industry in general.
Okay. I think besides having the technical skill set of UX, it is also important to also have other key areas that will help you succeed. In this case, being able to manage your own time, project management in this case, having the ability to also be always curious about new things, meaning you're always learning new stuff. And also, I think in general, I've seen people without actual design kind of skills, like hard design skills, still succeed in the role of a product designer because you can kind of take out some of these skills along the way. So there are skills where you can pick up when you're already in the job. And there's also skills that you kind of, I wouldn't say you need, but it's good to have to get you start really, to get you move really fast in your career. That said, those kind of skills like being able to manage your time is definitely one of them.
Nice. Yeah. So what about digital marketing then? What specific skill sets do you think one would need to have or would help them if they want to go into that field?
I guess on the ground level, you have the understanding of the main tools like Google Analytics, Facebook ads. Of course, the more hands-on you actually do this, the more you will know about it. Aside from the actual tools, I guess a good understanding of the whole customer journey. And digital marketing incorporates so many different platforms, whether it's email, SEO. So a general understanding of how each of these channels work together and what kind of part they would all play in the overall, marketing process.
Right. Nice. Okay. So let's just take it one step further. So in terms of the career paths that one can expect, right? Because obviously in your respective fields, it's a very big umbrella terms for both of these things. I'm sure there's a lot of different pathways that you can go into. But what are the specific ones that I would say a beginner could probably look to explore first, I would say?
I guess there are probably, I feel like there's like three main pathways you can go down in digital marketing. So the first one, if you have like a very strong understanding in something very specific, let's say specifically SEO or even more specific like link building, you could probably get enough work as a contractor, freelancer. The other path is, of course, working for a company, a digital marketing manager, something like that. Of course, from there you can work your way up to director level, and then of course the third one is running your own business. So this could be as a digital marketing agency, or using your digital marketing skills to launch your own business of any kind. Right. So I feel like that's kind of those are all very vast options.
But good options though. A lot of things you can do. What about UX? What kind of roles can you go into?
Again, it really depends on where you're going. So for example, if you're going to start a role in a startup, then you might see yourself doing pretty much most of what the UX process entails. That includes research, that includes the actual strategy of laying out, the problem space, the journey design, the UI design, and many other different aspects as well. Or even working on things we call design systems, which is the setting up the modularity part of design. But of course, if you go into being a designer in a bigger organization, which is a lot more mature, then the roles will be a bit more specific. It could be, diving really deep as a UX researcher. So you do a lot of research work and research studies around the problem space you're in. At the same time, if you are passionate about designing the screen designs and wireframes, you can also seek up a role as a UI designer. In addition to that, there's also roles like product designer, which kind of cover a large, broad part of things. So in general, there's two paths you can go. One is being a generalist, and the other is more of a specialist.
Nice. Okay. So on to the question that I think everybody would generally want to know about. Could you guys give us maybe a general idea of maybe a ballpark figure of what people can expect to make in your general field?
According to recent reports, the starting level for digital marketing is between 36 to 60,000 in a year.
Yeah.
I guess for kind of entry level position, the more you specialize, if you're a specialist in a certain field of digital marketing or even in a certain industry, then obviously you would be able to command a higher salary than that, especially with more experience.
Nice. Okay. Well, what about UX?
Yeah, so it's quite along the line of what Flame just mentioned. So when it comes to salary band or range, in design, for someone who is really junior, we can expect starting pay of $3,000 to $4,000.
Yeah.
And the range goes right up to $7,000 if you have a couple of years more experience.
Yeah.
Although I must say that if you are really good, right, you are a generalist, kind of like a unicorn, right? In some sense where you can do beyond just design. You are also able to do, say, product management. You're also able to incorporate AI into your work itself, and you're also one who kind of can lead a team. So basically, your capabilities that are not the core skills of UX itself does play a significant part in determining how much you can get from the company as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. So I guess from what I'm getting from you guys, obviously both of these careers are incredibly rewarding, right? So I want to ask as well, if somebody wants to get into your respective fields, right? What are some trends that you think people should be aware of? In terms of when they want to break into the field, what are some things that they should, I would say, maybe take note of before they venture even further? Yeah.
I would say that digital marketing in general there's always something new. So if you are trying to break into it, make sure you understand what is currently going on with Google, with the two big ones.
Yeah.
And then of course everything is all about AI now.
Yeah.
If you have a good handle on that, or even if you just played around with it a bit, see how you can actually incorporate that into your workflow, see how you can add it to your day-to-day uses, and that in itself is going to make you much more valuable as a marketer.
Nice. Okay. What about UX?
I think for UX, one key thing I would say, apart from the hard skills, knowing how to use the software, in this case we are using Figma, I think it's really important to have understanding of how we work in a product environment, right? Because really, largely we're working in a product environment where we are, designing for digital products. And by and large, most of the jobs in Singapore are looking for product designers and UX designers in this area. So if you're really looking to break into this space, you might not have a prior experience. Therefore, it's good to seek out current practitioners or seek mentorship, or even join different workshops or meetups to kind of meet up with UX designers in the field right now, get a good idea and a sensing of what they're looking for in their teams. So most often or not, we're looking for people with specific skill sets or certain domain knowledge, and especially one who have basically a certain understanding of how digital products are being designed and developed. So once you have kind of these things, in you, or in the form of knowledge, or in the form of a portfolio, or something that you can showcase to the designers during an interview, your chances of landing a job is really high.
So I want to ask you guys, what are some common misconceptions that people might have about your fields? What do you think is something that's not particularly true? And as people who are obviously very experienced, you guys would be able to debunk this.
I guess two misconceptions is first of all that digital marketing works like magic. You just kind of click a few things and then your ads are on.
Okay. Right. Obviously it doesn't work that way.
No.
Yeah.
And then I guess the other one's okay, now I'm gonna sound like my actual mother or grandmother. Oh yeah, you just play social media all day.
Oh yeah. I can see why. That's I would imagine it's common. Okay. Yeah. What about you, Zack? What's a common misconception?
Okay. I can kind of come up with a few examples.
Yeah.
Okay. So one that I keep hearing.
Yeah.
UX is easy, right? We just have to follow what we use every day, right? Just the buttons are here, like if you click the button, it should be here. I just follow whatever I see like from social media.
Right.
But that's not really the case, right? Because you really need to understand navigations. You need to understand how users interacting with a screen.
Of course,
obviously, the context of why they're doing it in the first place, right? So that's something that a lot of people don't have a good idea of.
Right.
And I just want to share one example of, or rather, a pattern that I observe as an instructor at Viki Institute. We have a lot of good students, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of times they come into the lesson thinking that this might just be another, just design the screens and get it over kind of thing. But they got quite surprised, right, by what what I've taught them in terms of UX.
Yeah.
It's really the science behind how users are having trouble interacting with your product.
Yeah.
And being able to identify those pain points, reduce the friction for them. It's a very long process before we actually get into designing the screen.
Yeah.
So if you think about it, right, it's more of like I would even say 80% of our time we spend learning how people are behaving and their attitude towards a product, and that 10 to 20% is really the actual work of just designing for it. So that's the part. The back-end side of things that a lot of people don't really see, but what they do see are the tangible screens that they are interacting with on an everyday basis.
Yeah. Nice. Okay. Oh wow. I mean, Thank you for debunking all of that. Right. So on a slightly more profound note, then, how do you guys see your respective industries growing in the coming years? I mean, as we all know, technology is just evolving at a rate that nobody can or would have ever anticipated. So how do you see your respective industries growing in the coming years?
I mean, I guess digital marketing is always going to be something that's in demand, but it's definitely changing a lot.
Yeah.
One of the, I think I've mentioned this a few times already, but one of the main things that's disrupting the space right now is, of course, AI coming into the picture. Suddenly you have a huge amount of AI-generated content, AI-generated blogs. This in turn affects, how Google, once they now change their algorithm to change these things. Yeah. So now, all of us SEO people have had to change the entire way we do SEO, which is a pretty interesting thing, trying to evolve in the way of combining, allowing AI into our lives, but at the same time trying to keep something that still remains authentic in a way of how we connect to our customers as people in marketing.
Right. Nice. Okay.
So for UX, there's two things I'd like to talk about. I think first is like what Flame just mentioned. AI is definitely hitting us really hard, right? And the trend is just going. So as UX designers, we are looking at how we can work together with this trend as one way to speed up our processes and our productivity. That's one. But I think the other thing that's more important is that from what I'm seeing right now, the field of UX is massive. But at the same time, when we're managing a product, we work in a team where it's cross-functional. Right. I'm starting to see the lines getting blurred between certain roles in a product setup. For example, traditionally, a product manager manages a product like a mini CEO, where he or she works with a group of different stakeholders from engineering, from design, research, marketing, whatsoever. Now, the product designer's role, I can see, is starting to blur a little bit as we're moving towards also being able to kind of project how our product will be, the experience will be in a few years from now. We're starting to see an overlap of responsibilities and roles with certain individuals, such as, for example, the product manager.
Right.
Some of the designers I have worked with also have a knack for coding. So they also kind of have a little bit of an overlap on the coding side of things. Yeah. So I'm starting to see a certain trend where the roles within the product space are getting a little bit blurry these days. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen in the future, but I do think that moving forward, changes are bound to happen. Yeah. And now with AI coming into the picture, I believe we might even automate some of these roles and responsibility. That means that another phase of evolution is going to happen. Right. And again, it also depends on the market right now. Yeah. How are users interacting with the products that we have? Is there any change in that along with AI as well? So things are starting to kind of move at a pace that's quite unprecedented. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I guess we all know that, as times are evolving, it's down to us to kind of keep up with the changes as well. So I think that's something that we want to impart to our viewers and our students as well. So the one last question that I want to ask you guys is, what one piece of advice would you give to somebody? What is one piece of advice that you would give to somebody who is trying to emerge into the fields that you guys are in? For yourself, Zack, what do you think?
Oh, okay. I'm just going to stick to the same thing. I think it's really important to have passion and be very motivated in going into UX, and also go in knowing that be very comfortable, make uncomfortable, because this is a field where a lot of things are very uncertain. Right. I think from the first day I've stepped into this field, even to today, every day I'm just working with a lot of uncertainties. I've kind of get used to it and kind of fond of this environment, surprisingly. And this is what I would say. So if you're really looking for something that's structured, that's logical, that's all pre-planned, I think it's time to change that paradigm.
Nice.
I feel like if I had to choose one thing that's important, I would say it's to surround yourself with the right kind of people that are always pushing you to do better, to learn more, to understand more. This could be on both sides, whether it's someone that you kind of look up to, or even people that you are also training. And all this helps you to kind of, I guess, work towards always improving yourself and staying on top of your field.
Right. Nice. Yeah. So I mean, I guess to wrap it up, from what I've gotten from you guys, these are two really great fields to be in. It's definitely a lot of potential for people who want to, go into these fields. So just to wrap up, I just want to say thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you for taking the time to share with us your expertise, your experience. We really, really appreciate that you guys have done so. For those of you who want to find out more about UX or digital marketing, feel free to visit us at verticalinstitute.com. We're more than happy to help you out. We're all here to support you in your journey into breaking into the tech industry. Without further ado, thank you again guys so much, and see you guys next time.